So if you're a carnosaur, it is a bad idea to engage with a megalodon. Welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. I'm Xaelfas, and this is Hardcore Harry. So look what I found, guys. I wasn't interested in doing anything in the water anytime soon. It was going to be once we start to unlock the massive dinos that are waterbound, and there's some new ones being released here in the near future. But I'm not going to say no to a 1/16 megalodon. Well, that is if he doesn't eat me first. I'm going to keep y'all with me till we bring him down. And after that, I'll show you a little bit about my plan on how to feed this guy. I don't think I have any kibble for him whatsoever, and I don't really want to run back to base, make some, and come back for fear of something else out here eating him or just otherwise hitting him, lowering our taming effectiveness, which is not something we ever want to have happen. So we've already picked out a name for this guy, and as some have been in the past, I'm actually going to be naming him after a dino I've had on a different run-through, different playthrough on the game. Bruce is this guy's name. Or lady. It won't, oh, nope, it's a guy. This kind of worked out. If you're familiar with Finding Nemo, you'll understand where Bruce comes from. I'm certain we have enough arrows to bring this guy down. Almost as many as his level, so that should be more than enough on a megalodon. And as you can see, this has worked out pretty well. I mean, I've even been able to just sit on him. He's been so passive in these shallows. This is not a expected result, nor should you ever expect this to happen when you're doing this, but I'll take what I can get. I've had mega piranha still attacking me on land, so, you know, something that's actually favorable is always good. Almost getting hard to tell if he's still up, though. It's the only downside. We do not want to hit him after he goes down. Come on. It's nap time. We'll just sit on top of him. Now, if you could tame everything this way, there we go. All right, guys. Let's go over, yeah. We're gonna get on Fluffy, and we're gonna go ahead and grab some meat. At this point in the game, I have not turned up the, what would you call that? The spoil timers on any of the meat or anything, but we're gonna tame this guy out. If not solely on prime meat, then very near 100% prime. I'm always gonna keep a little bit extra meat on it. That way, if I miss my timeline, it won't lose taming effectiveness and everything by default. But I'm gonna run over, we'll eat whatever, anything that'll yield any amount of prime meat, we're gonna devour on Fluffy. And then Fluffy's gonna spit that up and feed it to our new dino. I know, it's such a beautiful thought. I mean, you know, I won't say no to free loot while I'm at it. Also, started upgrading Fluffy's run speed, by the way. So I don't know what it would be, but Fluffy would definitely need some kind of Rocky style theme song whenever it's running around devouring everything. It's steadily been becoming our most useful dino, both on the side of protection at base whenever we're not really active and we're doing things around the base. In other words, when I'm not paying much attention to things and something falls into the base from the upper portion. Or just things like this where it's go kill everything as fast as you can. The amount of life everything seems to have is much higher than it used to be relative to damage. But it's not exactly a bad thing. Fluffy still annihilates everything. There you go. 5 prime. I'm gonna go get back to Bruce here pretty shortly. I think we're gonna grab a little more meat if we can. It doesn't spoil as fast on dinos, so you get to buy a little bit of time, and then you know, make the run back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and cut from here, guys. Start taming up Bruce, and I'll see you here shortly. So unfortunately, guys, the flotilla that we used to get all those dinos over there, as well as the scorpions, is now possessed. Exactly. I've tried multiple things to get it back in the water, and I just can't do it. I'm going to leave it here as a reminder of the bugs and our current inability to stop it. If we ever need another one, we'll just build one, throw some new stuff on it. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. Off to grab some more meat and things, guys, and I'll see you shortly. I found this Sarco here a little too close to comfort for our tame, but I noticed something interesting. This is a level 116 Sarco. That's right, it's gonna join the family as well. I don't actually need one for anything in particular, but I'm not gonna pass up the opportunity for high level tames, at least for egg production and things in the future. And this actually would not make the worst of base defense dinos, if you will, in our area. Set it over near the water. Let it have a bit of an advantage if there's something nearby and near the water. Whoa, looked like it was down, didn't it? I don't know. I've been lucky mostly to be finding females, and as far as high-level tames are concerned. It's much easier to start with them, and even if you don't find a high-level male tame, like say for breeding or something, you're always going to be able to generate eggs with or without the male. And you could always just go grab a level 1, in our case, minimum level 4. There we go, she's down. And just, you know, pair them together so that you'd get the egg bonus out of them, so to speak. Faster production. Sorry for that. Had my mic on during this recording. That's what that noise was. So Fluffy is going to have to pull double duty here. We're going to need meat both for the Sarco and for Bruce. I am thinking I will just use narcotics to keep the Sarco down a majority of the time, and then keep investing a majority of the prime on the megalodon. But I'm not exactly worried about the tame levels. These aren't perfect, and we're not really after perfect tames in this playthrough anyway, being that we're doing it more for the challenging factor than the perfectionist. Alright guys, I'm going to continue the work here, and I'll see you shortly. See? Looks a little better now, right? I'm going to try and use gamma commands whenever I'm doing this stuff for y'all. But yeah, we'll see how often I remember and how often you get to look at a big soup of blackness. Be right back, guys. Bruce has arrived. I really like the, would you say that's more turquoise, teal? What color would you call that? I don't know. I like it quite a bit. It looks really good. I like that they have a large variation of colors that you see on the megalodon. Not every dino out there really has good variations. Came out at 166 with pretty good stats. We're basically those ichthyosaurs that we tried to tame on the, what was that, the second episode? He's really going to fill their role most of the time. I don't intend to tame any ichthyosaurs this late in the game because, well, especially with Bruce here, there wouldn't really be a need for it. I'm going to try and keep him well fed because I'm not going to be spending a lot of time over here, except for perhaps episodes where we're actually doing something in the water. And at our current level, of course, we're not going to have a lot of things to do in the water, except, you know, punch fish. Always off for more meat and things. Gotta check on the Sarco, of course. Still don't know a good name for it. This may be something I ask you guys to name for me at some point, if you're willing. We'll see how it goes. And tossing regular meat just as a buffer, because feeding the two of them was much more difficult. Anyways, we off to go grab some more meat for the Sarco, finish that tame up, and I'll see you as soon as I got something else to show y'all. Alright. Be right back, guys. So trying to get a good feel for what Bruce here is capable of. I've increased my own oxygen levels. I don't remember what I have it at currently. But anyway, I've increased them so that we can try and do a little bit of checks in the area, that kind of thing. I've seen some really large dinos and things we can't really access or do much with. But just kind of looking at the area, scouting around a little bit, checking out his move speed, seeing if his stamina holds up to what I really need it to be. As a lot of dinos will be multi-purpose dinos, so it won't be straight out pump only damage or this or that. It will be some kind of mixture, hybrid of things. For instance, if you look at Fluffy, I pumped, let's see, stamina a fair amount, because I don't like having to stop to regain stamina. I'd rather it just regains when I don't even need it, and things of that nature. So it's more of a passive utility. Now, for instance, on the Lorry Bird, can't really do that. So I'm gonna run around, eat some megalodon and things for meat for the Sarco. I've actually already done that some, but as you can see, the water is fairly stripped around here. But anyways, guys, I'll bring you back when we start the next project. So both Bruce and Fluffy have played their part. We've got Fluffy over here guarding the Sarco, and it's tamed up. Managed to tame up while I was still out running checking for some meat. And it almost hit the same level as our Bruce back there, which was 166. And we'll just call this the Sarco for now, tamed out at 163. Now these were both unintentionally late night tames. I had to break apart from one of them and finish it the next day. Let's see how he stands up. Pretty good. Those guys hit pretty hard, even at lower level. So yeah, Sarco's not too bad. It's never a mount of choice for me or anything, but pretty impressive when you consider the stat crunches and things that they've done in the past. At least that's what I'm gonna call it, being that everything was squished down. Very slow on the land, but they fly in the water, guys. Kind of like the way they wiggle around, though. Pretty amusing. So now that we have our first real water dino, we also need to start an unintentional project. I'm gonna have to do some thinking about placement and things like that, but when it comes to unattended dinos and things, it's always best to have something to keep them in. So I'm gonna cut away from here, guys, and I think we're gonna start working on a water den for all future dinos, meaning that we need to make sure it's big enough for all future dinos as well. So we've just bitten off a major project, guys. I'll see you here in a minute. So we started our little project here. We've got Rocky, Bucky, the Eager Beaver, Ball and Chain. We've got Smalls over there helping us out. We're using an entire crew for building projects. Mostly because we can't carry tons and tons of things. Otherwise, I'd just gather on them and use our infinite supply to carry it. But unfortunately, we have our limits. Harry's only so strong. Now, I've already used quite a bit of materials and things. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to do the maximum distance between them to allow construction of that top roof, which will actually be also a ground at some point for structures. And that way we can get the sort of, I guess you could call it the skeleton of the build, get the skeleton complete, and then, you know, flesh it out and add the meat and skin later. Meat's going to be the function, obviously, in this analogy, if you will. And the skin in this instance will be the visual aesthetics and things. I plan to eventually do kind of like a walkthrough tunnel over the head of this, even though as far as supplies go, anything additional at this point seems ambitious. But I'm going to continue the build. I'm going to update you all throughout it. I might speed up the frames at some point just so that you don't have to watch the tedium of it. I'll go ahead and continue and roll right back to you guys. All right, guys, going forward from here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up and show you guys a little bit of what it's like putting something like this together. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the montage. I'll be putting all the information relevant to the song I used in the description below. It's not one that's required, but definitely think you should check it out if you haven't seen it. And as you see, mistakes can be made. I'm sure you saw a few more back there as well. The hardest thing thus far was the positioning for the door. To finish that, I had to get a little bit creative, not my strong point. Now, I had to add a behemoth gate in to fit anything in the future content through the door, so to speak. What I did was I ran, I think it was only one extra ceiling out, and then just started doing a base below it like we've done above here, so it was a lot less materials to get started on. And then built outward, added the gate, and it worked out. But here's our result, guys. Now, if you're wondering why I went so far out and punished myself so much on materials and things, it's because there's that massive rock right there that you see sticking out of the water. You can't destroy it or anything else, and there's a bit of a reef in there. And I did a little bit of recon, looking around, seeing if there was a better spot. But frankly, this is the best position from my base for a water pin. And it has direct access to the ocean. Now, on the other, I should say the opposite side of my base, there's a river that runs through it. Ha ha ha. And you can actually set up a pin there. I've done that in a previous gameplay. And I just want to do something different, something with more direct access to the open waters out here. And it's kind of nice to have my own little area where if I decide to, I'll be able to put things on Wonder and things like that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that to tiny dinos that fit through the cracks, but I'm pretty happy with it, guys. As I said, I'm probably going to come back here and add some structure to it and make it more... I don't know if I'll do towers or what. It's something I'll have to think about in the future. But I'm really happy with the way it's come through. Just give you an idea how things look. I'm definitely going to have a way to walk around the behemoth gate, though. I'm going to do some ceiling tiles around it because, well, this is why. I can't jump over that. But I'm hoping that not only when they add more aquatic wildlife, that they also add the amount of it, even though it might, you know, be counterproductive in terms of optimizing the game. It would be nice to see, you know, a little bit of everything as you go out places. So anyway, what do you guys think? Like the pin? Should I have gone a double door, which would have actually been easier? Should I have not gone as far out? Should I not do crazy long montages just because I enjoy them personally? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I had a lot of fun putting this one together, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I'm going to go ahead and end it here shortly. But as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.